Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another session with Saptarishi's Astrology. And today I have my dear old friend since 2003, I think. You know, when,
A while ago, a couple of weeks ago.
okay. So it's been 13 years or 14 years we've been knowing each other. Even before I started Saptarishi's Astrology magazine in 2008. She's been one of my sweethearts and always encouraging, very senior astrologer. She's been practicing astrology, Western astrology for more than 40 plus years and Vedic astrology since 18, 19, 20 years. Please welcome Phyllis Chugh from Canada. Hi Phyllis, how are you doing?
I am doing just fine. Sunil, you're very kind. Thank you.
A very humble person, and you studied under various teachers, and
I've been very fortunate. I've had wonderful teachers, and primarily I've studied with Sanjay Rat.
okay, he's a genius. I'm an absolute genius.
Yes, and your uncle.
And I guess you finished his several programs, his Parashara and Gemini programs. Both you have finished, right?
I did not do the Parashara program with him. I did the Gemini, but I did not do the exam.
Oh, okay. Exams make me nervous also.
I need time for the information to soak in, but it's wonderful when you're not in class and you're able to do that and to play with it and to test it out. Not a lot of making sense to me. That certainly didn't make sense to me while I was being hit with it.
Okay, but how do you at this age of 73, if you don't mind me saying, at this age, how are you open to receiving knowledge, testing techniques, doing research? How do you get the time? I mean, from your readings and everything, how do you get time?
Well, the fact is that this is my life. This is all I've ever done. I don't know anything else to do. And I'm nosy. I'm very nosy. And I want to know how everything works. So what you have presented to most of us with the Nadi work, it has me completely spellbound to read a chart, because it's the literature. It says a person's whole life is in the Rashi chart. And I always heard that and thought about it. And now I'm starting to see how to do it. Just put that Jupiter in the first house. And then we start to deal. But it's a new way to look at aspects, relationships. It's broadening up my mind on the Karaka. So they say that if you can do a crossword puzzle every day, you won't get Alzheimer's. And I think Jyotish is the same thing. So with luck, I won't get Alzheimer's.
Thank you, Phyllis. Today, Phyllis, I want you to teach us what we discussed earlier about nakshatras, about Tara Balam. That is, Tara Balam is the strength of the nakshatra Tara, and how we can very easily, somebody who's just 4 months, 6 months old in astrology, how we can use this effectively, is what I would request you to teach us, because it's such an important topic and I missed out on studying these basics but fantastic techniques, I missed out, in my journey of astrology. So for me, this is learning from you, which is great. I mean, and of course, you are teaching to the whole world now. So all yours, Phyllis.
Again, you're very humble, sir.
No, not at all.
To me, the importance of the Terra Bella is that it's an introduction to the importance of the nakshatras. And oftentimes, as students, we start to look at the graha first and the bhavas, and we think all the energy is there. And it takes a while for us to begin to appreciate how important the nakshatras are to the graha and to the bhava. Now, starting with the Teravalum, because it is so simple, it allows us to move in to the whole process of learning about this. Now, the nakshatras are powerful, and it's a whole major study. So what we're going to deal with today is to look at how they're arrived at, to look at the strengths, the order of them, some of the meaning of them, and how we can begin to use this in our personal lives. If you are a practicing astrologer, you can certainly set this up for your clients. I've done that for some clients, but there's only 24 hours in a day. So do it for yourself, and that will enable you to take your appointments, to ask for your raise, to do whatever it is you have to do. And at the same time, you're going to be learning about the nakshatras. So,
may I just butt in and ask, is my table shaky or is your table shaky? The camera is moving up and down.
no, my table is very solid.
Also, it's probably me, because for me, the screen's going a bit up and down.
No, there's nothing here moving.
The camera, is it an external camera?
No, for me, it is in my
Laptop.
computer, my laptop.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. So probably it's me, or probably we are having an earthquake here in Bombay.
No, let's not say that.
Okay, continue, please.
I understand that you will be flipping my slides,
Yes. Do you want me to open them?
and I would appreciate you opening them, please.
Okay, great. Fantastic. Okay. So do you see the screen?
Very good. Yes, I do. And this is what I have just said to you. This is what we're going to talk about today, with emphasis on personal planning. So may we move to the second slide, please?
Sure.
And to the next slide.
Sure.
Perfect. Now, I have mentioned the term nakshatra often enough for anyone listening to realize that it is the nakshatras that we're working with. And it's important to begin to see the nakshatras as a chart. Once we finish this, I think you will have a better appreciation. And now, may we flip to the next chart, please? Here we see the zodiac. And in this zodiac, we have it divided into 3 categories.
Mm-hmm.
In time, we will have other names for those 3 categories. But at this particular point in time, let's just see how the 27 nakshatras are divided 3 times within the zodiac. They're repeated. They're the first category, and if we want to put a name on it or another title to it, at these early days, we can say this first category, which I can't move my cursor to identify it.
Yeah, I will do it for you.
Okay, the first category from Aries to the end of Cancer, they are the Rajasic nakshatras. And the second category from Leo to the end of Scorpio, they are broadly called the Tamasic nakshatras. And the third category is called the Sattvic. So I'm giving you that now just for an introduction to the importance of the gunas with the nakshatras. Now may we have the next slide, please?
Sure.
Oh, we're a little out of order there, but that's okay. The slide that we have up here now is showing the names of the first 9 nakshatras. And if we move to you know what is possible? I wonder if students are able to stop this and take their snipping tool and take a copy of this. If a student is able to do that, that would be very valuable for them to do that right now. Because these 9 names are consistent in that first column, and they also have an effect all the way across. When I say all the way across, if we look at the next slide, I think we're going to see the format of the 3 categories.
Okay. So you mean to say our 27 nakshatras, we divide it into 3 groups?
We do.
9 each, correct?
9 each, that's correct.
Each of these 9 are repeated in this kind of categorization. That is, the first is Janma.
Yes, that's correct. And then we...
Second is Sampat. Third is Vipat. Fourth is Shema. Fifth is Pratyari. Sixth is Sadhaka. Seventh is Badaka. Eighth is Mitra. And ninth is Atimitra. Right?
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Welcome.
Now, this slide, for any of you looking, take a copy of this slide, use it for yourself. It is totally blank. This way, you're going to be able to put any category, any nakshatras in there you want. So use that blank form as a tool in your learning. The first 9 nakshatras fall in the first category. Now, those are the names of those 9 categories, and Sunil just spoke those names. What you're going to write in this form is the name of the nakshatra that your moon sits in. Now, if you'd be kind enough to give me another slide.
I got it.
There we go. Here we see that it's important you just look in your chart. And if you use Jehora, you will be able to see the placement of your moon with the name of the nakshatra. Take that nakshatra and lay it in the first column, number 1. That's your Janma nakshatra. You will use that nakshatra for many, many things. Now, it is possible, and I think it is fair to tell you now, and it's something you can play with. You can fill this form out using the nakshatra of your lagna, of your sun. And as you do that, just write down what follows in a line. You will start to see patterns, and this is very important. Now, the nakshatras always follow the same order. And we see this order at the bottom of this slide. Now take a moment and write that order down if you're not familiar with it. Ashwini is ruled by Ketu. Magha is ruled by Ketu. Mula is ruled by Ketu. This is how we use this specific order covering the 3 columns. Now, I would like to use a little example and show you how we can do this. And I think it'll work. So please give me the other slide.
Is this the one?
That's not the one. Oh yeah, that's the one that I say. The example is that we're going to use is the moon is in Mrigashira. So if we know a person's moon is in Mrigashira, please bring up the next slide and we'll see what happens. In the first column, we have Mars, Mrigashira, Chitra, going across, all the way down.
So they go in the order.
Always in that order.
Okay.
That order never changes.
27 nakshatra order. So the first column will go in the, which is your moon nakshatra. Let me just draw it out for them, you know.
Well, that would be helpful. I hadn't thought of that.
So this is your Janma nakshatra. For this example.
Yes.
So the first Janma nakshatra, it will be right here, Mrigashira. Then we go in the normal order of the nakshatras. Okay. And
Yes.
the next one we select. Then the next one, Ardra, Punarvasu. Then Pushya. Then Ashlesha. Magha, Pura Falguni, Uttar Falguni, and so on. Till we finish till the 9th.
And then we start at the top again.
Then we start in the second column. We start from here and we keep on going till here. Am I right?
That's perfectly right.
Then we go
And
to
do
the
the
third one.
Yes.
This one. Then again we follow the sequence. For this example, Dhanishta till Revati, and we finished. Revati is the last nakshatra. Correct?
Correct.
Then we start once again with Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika, Rohini. So after Rohini would be Mrigashira. So the sequence continues. But
Yes.
we have basically divided, please correct me, we have divided this into 9 categories. Am I right?
Definitely. Always this 9 categories.
Okay.
When we're using the 27 nakshatras.
Okay. And the 9 categories would be, would be this, what you referred to. Once. Now let's clear this drawing.
Definitely. And I must tell you, whoops.
So these are the 9 categories.
Yes.
So suppose I'm taking, please correct me here, if I want to see Badaka means something obstruction. So this is the 7th category.
Mm-hmm. across that line in all three categories.
Oh,
Whichever nakshatra falls in the 7th position becomes a Badika.
so this
There's
one.
a problem here. There we go. Yes.
So this is whenever moon will transit these three nakshatras.
We have some difficulty. Now, before we go directly to the 7th, I think if we have an understanding of what is ruling each one of these 9 categories, it allows us to have a better understanding. So I think I've got a slide there that deals with that. And it's down there a bit. It's called the meaning of the Tara positions. There we go. Sometimes it's difficult to get slides around the world in order. So, the first position, Jamana, is ruled by the sun. Now, this rulership of the sun has got nothing to do with the nakshatra at this point that is sitting in that first position. So if you're just able to start to begin the first one ruled by the sun, that makes sense. The second one is ruled by Mercury. The third by Rahu, fourth by Jupiter, fifth by Ketu, sixth by Moon, seventh Saturn, and then of course the 8th and 9th by Venus and Mars. Now, there's a pattern here. The sun, remember, is considered to be a mild malefic. Now, most of us could look at the sun and say, well, my God, there's no life without the sun. But, you know, if you're out in the sun too long and it's too hot, it's not so friendly. In the first nakshatra, we can say there's fuzzy thinking. Fuzzy thinking because we have to explore this. We have to see for ourselves how that nakshatra is relating with everything else, how the sun is relating. So we can, as we first start this, we can put a little question mark beside the one, just as we start to become comfortable. Now, in the second one, Sampat, which is ruled by Mercury, business, communication, travel, all these things are good. So that if you want to plan a trip, setting out on a day that is when the moon is in Sampata, in your case, this is good. Vipat is Rahu. Rahu is not a friendly folk. So we have some danger here. We have to be careful. When the moon is in the third nakshatra in your chart, that's a good day to learn to walk, not run. It's a day not to go mountain climbing or start the ski season, because if you do, chances are you won't finish it. The number 4, Shema, is ruled by Jupiter. And in time, as we go further into this, you will find that there is a lot of emphasis on this 4th placement. But at this point in time, we can just consider Jupiter is a benefic. It's a great benefic. So it's a good day to undertake projects that involve we'll even go so far as to say socializing, of generosity, of devotion, things like that. And again, now, with the fifth one, we have delays, confusion. It's Ketu. Ketu can muddy the waters very easily. So it's a time we should consider pulling back, and we should count to 3 before we express our opinions sometimes.
Yeah, so this is called pratyak. Pratyak, delays, rash speech, obstacles. So all your, let me just reiterate this. I want you to clarify. So all in the set of the 5th nakshatra series, all the 3 nakshatras that will come in my horoscope, in the set, is pratyak, and it will cause obstacles, delays, and rash speech. Is that it?
Yes.
I feel all my 9 set of nakshatras is ruled by Ketu, because that happens in my life throughout the day for 365 days. I do not know. Oh my God.
That's my Jamna nakshatra.
I've got to research in this. Okay, please continue.
Some days I feel I was born. Anyway, the 6th nakshatra, very, very helpful. Sadhana?
Sadhana.
Sadhana. It's ruled by the moon. The moon is nurturing, it's supportive, it's brings together. There's a little maternal instinct in there. And it's a time when you can plan on doing any activity that is going to be helpful to yourself or to someone else. The 7th nakshatra, this is one that is very, very nasty. And like much of the information, the writings that we get, you will hear that the 7th is death. But you have to remember every time you read that something is death, is no, you're not going to die on the 7th. Please don't think that every month, you're not dead yet. It's just a way to caution you, to say, this is serious. Pay attention. So here I have said unnecessary expenses.
Okay.
So it's unnecessary expenses that we could feel like we're dying if we do it the wrong way. So,
could it also mean separation from anything that you were doing?
Definitely. But, sometimes if we can use little words to start, unnecessary expenditures usually stops people cold. They're stop and think about it. So it's a time when there's poor judgment, rash thinking, doing stupid things.
Yeah.
And we all have that opportunity quite regularly to prove that that's true. Now, toward the end of this period, we come to the 8th and 9th. Mitra, which means friend, and Paramitra, which means great friend. With these two, as you can see, and the words I put here, especially with Venus, if you want to have a party, that's a time to do it. To have a wedding, that's the time to do it. To undertake a new art form, to start your dance lessons, to anything that involves Venus.
Okay.
And lovemaking too. It's very good in there. Whoa. I know we're not supposed to talk about that.
No. We must. Our rishis also wrote a book on it called Kama Sutra.
Oh, a fabulous book. Fabulous book.
I have not read it. I should ideally. So, okay.
It's beautiful poetry. And it's a very, very important aspect of our being.
Family life, yeah.
It's how we think about it.
Very true. Instead of treating it as a taboo. So this is Mitra, ruled by Venus.
Ruled by Venus. So you go shopping, enjoy pleasure. And
if I want to write a book, something that's creative, can I do it in Mitra? Or should I select something?
In my opinion, I think that would be a good idea because of the creativity involved. So I think I mentioned dancing or painting. It's anything that involves the creativity, the creation of beauty. So you could build a house, furniture, so any creation.
Okay.
And that would be supported.
Next, the last is Param Mitra.
Now, this great friend certainly supports, but as much as it's called a great friend, we have to remember that we're going to have to put some effort into whatever it is that we do. It is good. We are getting support. But if we sit in our chair and expect some miracle to land in our lap, we're out of luck. So we have to put effort forward, and then we reap the reward. Okay. So that's all we need to remember there.
Okay, so I have 2-3 questions on this on this slide.
All right.
The first is, how is this order decided? Sun, Mercury, Rahu, Jupiter, Ketu, Moon, Saturn, Venus, Mars. And what is the logic behind it? Any classic, or it is just parampara knowledge? How does it go?
I can't answer that question.
No worries. But it does make sense, because...
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because I have always observed in the 3rd series of Vipat, possible danger, Rahu, those days I have always observed that there have been kind of a danger kind of day, if I made the wrong move, I know I could have really, and even in the 5th one, where Ketu is the ruler, I have seen unseen obstacles. That's Ketu, unseen obstacles. It really works for me that way. So if I have to remember this table, in an easier way, I remember that the 3rd, 5th, and 7th are problems. Am I right?
Yes, definitely. And I was...
Rahu, Ketu, Saturn. 3rd, 5th, 7th, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn. That's how I remember.
Well, how I remember is all the malefics: Sun, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn.
Oh.
And Mars makes me work. High energy makes me work.
Well, that's a beautiful way. That's a beautiful way. All alternate, odd ones.
Odd, always the 2nd one, except for the 8th and 9th. The 8th and 9th are both good. I just have to move. Okay. I have to put the work into it.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know why it is this order, but it is.
Okay.
Now, I think we need to... May I see the next slide, because I'm not sure what our order is. And we've just explained that and gone over to the fact that the days are ruled by the malefics. Here, I'm going to suggest, as a personal practice, that each morning you open your charts, open Jayhora, and check and see where the moon is. I would also suggest that you check where it is at the end of your day.
Okay.
And the reason I'm doing that is the nakshatras do move in their own order. It's just that our clocks are synchronized with the movement of the moon. So we can't say it changes every day at 10 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It might change at 4 o'clock. So we have to give ourselves a bit of a span,
Mm-hmm.
so that we don't start jumping to the conclusion and thinking, hey, I got 8 all day or 9 all day, and then you're going to be in trouble. So take your day timer,
Mm-hmm.
take a month, and write at the top of each page what number you're at. Well, I use the numbers. I'm quite confident that most of you can use the names.
Mm-hmm.
But I use the numbers so that when I'm booking clients, when I'm doing studies, I know what support I'm getting, or if I should just back off, if I should try and change little things. And I will confess that I go through cycles of doing this, and then I get lazy, and then I regret it. And something happens, and I think, oh!
Now you know. I'm going to bring a point from what you just said. I have seen very senior astrologers use Tarabalam for their muhurat, for planning their day, and I've seen them get obsessed with it. I've seen them get obsessed with it. And they wouldn't move an inch if it's a bad day. So what do you do on the bad days, the 3, 5, 7? What do you do? Just sit? What do you recommend doing? I don't know. That's it. I don't use muhurat,
What I do, hey, this is the truth. What I try and do is not to book appointments on those days. Does that work? No. People are very inconvenient about their catastrophes. Because I'm also a counselor and I use the astrology for a lot of counseling, people only call me when their world's falling apart. So I try as much as I can. If I'm able to do it, then I use those days for my study, for me to be able to pull back and do something with this pile of paper on my desk, or I pick up one of the old books and sit and read them.
Well, you got a big library over there.
Or this is only a little bit.
Okay.
These are just the ones that I'm holding here. Yes, this is the natty stuff.
Okay. Okay, great.
So I highly recommend you try and do this. And you will fall off the wagon, and that's good. And you'll crawl back on, but that's good too. One of the things in Jyotish, now this is just my opinion, because there are so many techniques, so many that sound simple to do, we have to remember first and foremost, we are here to experience our karma. So we can't be trying to make our life perfect. We have to take the music as it comes. So by all means, try, but it's more important for us to monitor how we deal with situations. It doesn't matter what happens to us. What matters is how do we deal with it.
Correct.
That said, use Terabella.
Okay.
Now, I have something I want to share with you so that you can find some ways to be able to find your own nakshatra. It's obvious. There's a couple of things to do. One, that natural list. Just count it 1 to 9. Then see where your moon is and find it, and then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever the moon is today. There is another way you can do it, and that is find the number of the nakshatra of the day.
Okay.
And divide 9 into it. And you will find you get a number. So that if the nakshatra for the day is 23, you divide, there we go. You divide 9 in. We'll start at the beginning. It sometimes helps.
Yeah.
You find the ruler of your Janma nakshatra. Find the nakshatra ruler for the day in question. Then count from your Janma nakshatra to the nakshatra of the day. If it's less than 9, you know you're in one of those columns. You're laughing. But if it's more than 9, divide 9 into it, and you'll get the answer.
Yeah, the reminder. Okay.
Here's the example. If the nakshatras are 23 places apart, divide 9, you have 2 with 5 remaining. So you know that you're up for an interesting day.
Yeah.
It's a day to stay at home and put your feet up, which of course you can't do all the time. But you can make sure that you don't speed as you're going through a school zone, or you'll get a ticket. The same if it's 15, you divide 9, you 1, and you have 6 remaining. Very, very simple. And it's easy to start to do that.
Okay.
Now, I have a couple examples here.
Okay.
So, Sunil, would you please put up that list of the 9 names again?
This one?
That one. Yes, yes. That list, I would highly recommend students to take a copy of that.
Yeah, what I would do is I will give a PDF file of this under the video in the comment section, so people can download it and remove a printout.
Oh, wonderful, because if they have the form that they can use and print it up, and that's wonderful. Then they have tools to start with.
Right.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to look at a couple coincidences of events. And the one event that I would like to begin with is President Obama.
Okay.
Now, President Obama's natal moon is in Rohini. And on the day of the election in 2012, and that was on November the 6th, 2012, the moon fell into Ashleisha.
Okay.
And if we count from Rohini down to Alisha, we find that's 6.
Okay. Do you want me to show you forest too?
I think that would be a very good idea, because that'll help people to be able to number 1, find it, number 2, count and see what we're looking at here.
Okay. Here. Can you see it?
Now I can, yes, definitely.
Okay.
So we see that his His moon is in Rohini.
Mm-hmm.
And on the day of the election, which was the 6th of November, oh, beg my pardon, we could do it this way.
You want the election date? Okay, election date.
Yes.
This is the election, no, this is 2016.
We want 2012.
What was the date, 2012?
November the 6th.
Okay, let me create that. You know, this slow exercise will help all the students.
I hope so.
So what time do you want me to put?
Make it 8 o'clock in the evening.
Okay, why you want 8 o'clock?
The reason I want it for 8 o'clock is because in Washington, D.C., 8 o'clock is about the time it's ended. They know. They probably know beforehand, but that's when it's announced.
Okay. 2012.
There we go.
You have the moon is
in Ashleisha.
Okay. So, shall we go back to his horoscope?
We can go back to his horoscope. And what might also be valuable to do is to go back and look at the original list of there we go. Ashleisha in this man's chart is number six, showing high achievement.
Oh.
Lord is Mercury. So any planets in his chart that were in Ashleisha, Jesta, or Revate were elevated. And he won the election.
Okay. He won. So can we check his competitor's horoscope?
Most certainly. And we have her, it was in 2012 that Hillary Clinton ran against him. And that nomination date was June the 3rd, 2012.
One second. You want me to pick the nomination date also?
But the nomination date is June the 12th.
2012.
16, or 12, beg my pardon, yes, 12. And then say 8 o'clock in the evening just for consistency or 200.
So this was the date she got nominated, Hillary Clinton.
No, this was the date that Obama was named as the person to run as president. And she was against him. Okay. She was not nominated as president. She lost to him.
No.
So on that, where are we now? He was nominated on the 3rd of June.
Oh, it's 3rd of June, is it? I took 12th of June.
That was the day he won the election.
I'm sorry, I'm confused. He won the election on 6th November, right?
Yes. What did I say?
Well, you said June.
Forgive me.
Okay.
It was, forgive me. It was the election. It was the nomination elections.
Okay. Okay.
It's the 3rd of June.
Okay. Can we just check on 6th November? when the election was announced, what was Hillary Clinton's?
She wasn't running. She did not run
Oh,
on the 6th of November. They decided on the 3rd of June who was going to represent the Democrats.
okay.
Was it going to be Hillary or was it going to be Obama?
Oh, okay.
He won, and he won the election.
Okay. All right. So he won it against whom? Can we see his photo?
Against Hillary.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, it's a bit confusing for me, but I'm quite sure the viewers will get it. So can we also check now for the future elections?
Almost certainly we can.
I'm quite sure when any astrologer announces gives a verdict on the elections, he sees hundreds of factors. We are only taking one particular factor, which is, am I right?
This is going to be enough. Now there are two people running in this current American election. One is Hillary Clinton, and the other one is Donald Trump.
Okay, can I put up Donald Trump's horoscope?
You most certainly may. And Donald Trump,
I'm taking his time as 9:51. Is that correct?
oh, I've been convinced to take his time at 10 something. But you know something? I don't believe it'll make a difference.
Yeah, probably not, because
I hope not.
Yeah.
Because it covers a lot of time. So
I just want to check, because his moon with my current this thing is in Jyeshtha 4th Pada.
and that is what I have it also.
Well, what time are you taking?
10 something.
Would you remember?
10:54 in the morning.
Oh, 10:54. Let me check AstroRate on that.
I think it's 10:54. Just a sec. Let's see how close I'm getting here.
You know, I just don't follow.
It is 10:45:18.
Okay. Oh yeah, AstroData Bank is giving 10:54.
Yeah, well, I have 10:45:18, so
Okay.
it's close enough.
Yeah. Okay, 10:45. Okay. I've just not been following the horoscopes of politicians, since many years now.
I don't understand that at all. You have nothing to do to fill your days. Now, the election will be on the 8th of November, 2016.
Okay. Oh, sorry. So this is the horoscope you're taking, Leo Lagna? Is it?
Leo, yes, that's it.
5-degree Leo?
Yes. And we see that his Janma Nakshatra is in Jyeshtha.
Yeah, correct.
Now, the day of the election in 2006, the moon is in Shadabish.
Okay. I've taken the time as 20. That's
good. That's good.
That's the time the election results would be announced. Am I right?
Yes. Accepted.
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah, approximately. But better that we do it to their time than do it other than that.
So moon will be in Satabhisha Nakshatra.
Yes.
Okay.
So if we take and look at the Tara from the moon, we will see
Well,
that Shadi Bish in his chart falls into the 7th category.
oh my God.
Yes. Now, I'm not usually into making predictions for politicians because I rarely pay much attention to them. However, when I saw this, I thought, well, you know, maybe it's a bad day for him if he's elected.
Mhm.
But then, of course, when I saw that, I had to go and look and see what happened to Hillary.
Yeah. Sometimes when a guy gets elected, people, there will be many negative reactions, also.
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes a bad day for him.
So on the one hand, we can say, oh my goodness, that's on 7th, this is a bad day for him, he lost the election. Or we can say, oh my God, this is a bad day for him, he won the election. So we're covered there. We're covered. So now let's look at Hillary Clinton and see how she's going to fare on this day.
Okay.
And it'll be interesting if we could remember this later on. Now,
I'm taking a different time of Hillary now. Earlier I've taken a different time. This is the one I'm using, the one.
I just changed it also. That just came out today.
Yeah.
But her nakshatra is still
the same. Yeah.
Purva Bhadrapada.
And the worst part is this time by Robert Core was there from back in 2007. Submitted it to AFA, nobody noticed it, and it corroborates what Zain Cohen, he observed it from the birth record in the Cook Country Clerk Court, So, and this happens to be the same time of birth as reported by Hillary's cousin,
Yeah.
Who had
So
asked
we'll see.
But anyway, it's finally come out, and let's hope it's the correct one.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But we can try here. So even with her old birth date, at this birth date, we still have Purva Bhadra as her nakshatra. And we know that on the election date, that it's Shadi Bish is running. So now we can take a look at that.
Satabishan is in the last row.
In the very last row. So what that says is this is good, but she's going to have to work for it. So to have the great friend, it's a good day for her. And it may be a good day because she wins the election, and it may be a good day because she's off the hook.
Oh, this makes sense probably. She's been running Mercury Antardasha, and that's the time scandals regarding emails and everything has propped up.
There's a lot of coincidences I see here because I've only had a few minutes to look at it.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
I wish both of them the best, but can we also do an exercise? Phyllis, I do not know if you've there's more to our slides. Let me just check. Let me just share the screen with the slides. Okay, you can see it here. I had an idea which I'll tell at the end.
Okay. well, this is where she lost
Yeah.
the nomination.
Today must be a bad day for me, because maybe Vipat Tara. I've been going up and down with the slides. I'm so sorry, I mean,
No, listen, that is the least of the problems, believe me.
very kind of you.
Oh.
So this is done. You've done this. We will also be giving the slides out.
And that is my conclusion.
Very good.
I think, now if I just take and recap this, it's a simple thing.
Yeah.
Check your moon, check the moon of the day, count the difference, and it gives you some flavor for what you're starting to face for the day, so you can make healthy decisions. Do it for a period of a month and see if you can recognize patterns.
Yeah.
Because that is what the study of Jyotish is the recognition of patterns. And by doing that, it helps us when we understand that we're sort of getting an old bouquet and it's got a thorn in it. It helps us to know that that time too will pass. So if you do this for a few months, then you will have more understanding and more appreciation of this whole topic as we expand it. And let me assure you, there's a lot more than this about the Taras.
Yeah, I want to discuss with you. Can we do that in the second part, whether we should take it from the Lagna or from the Chandra and how to decide that,
Well, there's controversy about that. Some say you must always take it from the moon because the moon rules the mind and you're making your decisions. And then other people say, no, that's not true. You could take it from the Lagna because after all, that's your physical form and that's the most important thing. And then, maybe you could take it from everywhere.
No, but what if from moon it is this, and so you just do a mix and see from moon and from Lagna, you do a mix and see. Like sometimes you have a bad day physically, but mentally it's a great day. So probably that's what.
Oh, I agree. I have a pillar desk, and my poor knees, some days I introduce them to this old desk. And actually I should do a little experiment to see, taking my Taras from the Lagna, because that's the body.
I have few ideas on this for the research or whatever one wants to call it. Is in Satyacharya by Rishi Satyacharya. It's an old book. It was translated by C.G. Rajan into English, the great Nadi astrologer, way back, I think 30s or something. Then a Delhi publisher also published it in the name of Satya Jatakam. In that book, in the very first chapter, the secret of calculating dashas is given, whether the dasha is to be calculated from the moon or from some other point. So there, in the first chapter, Rishi Satyacharya, Rishi Satyacharya is the guy whom even Varamira says, when in doubt, go to Rishi Satyacharya. In Brihad Jatak, many a times, Varamira says, here I feel comfortable taking Satyacharya's method. Many a times he has mentioned that. Satyacharya says, whichever is stronger, the moon or the Lagna.
That is a common theory.
Yeah. Whichever is stronger, you take that. And from that becomes your Janma Lagna. If the Lagna is stronger, then that becomes the Janma Lagna. If moon is stronger, then that becomes the Janma Lagna. So I believe maybe we can experiment and see for cases where the Janma Lagna is stronger, whether this is working more correctly. That is one area of experimentation, which our readers can also do and prepare an Excel sheet. And the second area, what I would want all our readers to do is, Phyllis Chub's presentation, no doubt this is lengthy because I wanted her to make it lengthy because it's such an important topic. It's a very important topic. I want the readers, especially the young ones, because only the young ones will work really hard, is for them to create an Excel sheet with their date, like she said, a monthly planner. Okay. Write down whether it is Janma, Nakshatra, Vipat, etc. and all that. Third column, write down what events happened. Fourth column, write down 2 keywords for that event. 2 keywords that you can make out from that event or the whole day's events. And fifth column, if the technique of Tara Balam is working or not 100% or give you a percentage. Make this as an exercise for the next 3 months. Post it.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Post it to us, and at the start of your Excel, put a conclusion in a summary form, in a table form, so that we need not see all your 3 months and go through all the 3 months, but a conclusion as a summary, so that when elders like Phyllis Chub or like me also, I am become old, I just see the conclusion, and I can, everybody else learns from your experience. When we, astrological committee, come together and do research, a statistical research, it will help. Second, lastly, what I wanted to request you, Phyllis, is, if you can, check out the last 5 elections, US elections, or the UK elections. Create a table and see on the day of the election, what was the nakshatra? Like a table, which were the 2 competitors, what was their Tara Bala, and whether it is matching with this traditional method of nakshatra strength or Tara Bala. And if it is not matching, then you can always go through Lagna Nakshatra and also check it via Lagna Nakshatra.
If that doesn't work, we'll use the other one.
I can be very tricky at times.
I like that. We all do that.
Yeah. Because when it comes to our lady Hillary Clinton, she is in Puru Bhadrapad, and somehow her son is having very less Ishtaphala, and the other things like even Jupiter, of course, Jupiter has a bit higher Ishtaphala, but the best part about her is her Mercury, which is having 49.6 Ishtaphala. But anyways, I'm diverting. But if you could do this for the next few days, and we could come out with another study, an observation, not a conclusion maybe, but an observation, on some of the elections, So we will realize how much weightage is to be given to this Tara Balam technique. Because what's happening is, in India, statistical astrology only has been recently done, but still not in a systematic manner. So how much weightage each technique has to be given, because everybody is guiding in India and abroad with the Muhurat on the Tara Balam concept, and many of them give more weightage. Of course, there are many other points that of weightage are given. If it would be a great video. It would be a great statistical video. Something in an Excel form or something like that, we can have it,
Well, I'll tell you, I will do that work, but somehow I can do the statistical analysis, because I have trouble spelling that word. I got an A in graduate studies in my statistics, and I'm certain, you know, someone was helping me out.
I'm quite sure somebody will come forward and help you out in this, you know. And,
Oh, I'm not going to do it.
okay. Well,
I'll do the other work.
okay. Well, we're going to say thank you so much, Phyllis, for this lesson on Tara Balam. And
Well, thank you.
I hope you continue with this in part 2, or come and teach us something more, or a new topic.
Move it along a little bit. We'll move it along a little bit. But this, seriously, this study is huge. And it can go on a multitude of levels. And if someone becomes really interested in it, there are 2 books that I think intense students should consider. And one is by Sanjay Ras called Brihat Nakshatra.
Yeah.
It's utterly amazing. Utterly amazing. And I am not going to go to that depth. Just know that it's there. And the other one is Camellia Sutton has just done another book on the nakshatras, which is very easy reading, powerful information. She is so clear, and she writes in one language.
Yeah, her books are smooth, you know, absolutely.
That's a good word for it. Good word for it.
Absolutely smooth. She's a wonderful person. I've met her several times. And in fact, I'm doing a workshop with her in February in one of her conferences.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
She's invited me as the chief guest, something like that.
Oh, good, good. So those two books.
So those 2 books, Sanjay Dutt's book and Camellia Sutton's books, are fantastic. So thank you so much, Phyllis, and I hope to see you soon. And
we'll see.
After a long time we've connected. It's been many years. You know, we come face to face after a long time. Yeah. Pleasure.
Thank you very much. I do appreciate this.